Welcome to my channel. What if English listening practice didn't feel hard? What if it felt like a bedtime story? Calm, slow, peaceful, but still powerful? If English feels difficult or you forget what you hear, this video is made for you. Let's fix that together. Speech balloon, tell me in the comments. Do you enjoy learning English before sleep or in silence? Chapter 1. The night I couldn't sleep. It was a quiet night. The lights were off, but I could not sleep. My eyes were open. My mind was full. I was thinking about English again. I had tried so many times. I had watched YouTube videos. I had read grammar books. I had listened to fast conversations. But still, I could not understand. I felt tired. Not just in my body, but in my heart. I wanted to learn, but everything felt so difficult. That night, I opened my phone and searched easy English stories for sleep. I didn't know what I was looking for. I just wanted something soft. Something simple. Something that didn't make my brain hurt. I found one video. It said, "Slow English Bedtime Story for Beginners." I clicked. I didn't expect much. But then, a soft voice began to speak. Slow, calm, like a whisper in the night. I listened. I didn't understand every word. But I didn't stop. The voice felt kind. The sentences were short. There were pauses after every line. I listened again. And again. And again. I closed my eyes. I wasn't studying anymore. I was just listening. And for the first time, I felt relaxed. My chest didn't feel heavy. My mind wasn't full. The story was simple. A girl lost her way in a forest. She was scared, but she kept walking. She followed the stars. The story was not just a story. It was a feeling. It was quiet, slow, and safe. And while I listened, something small happened. I heard one word clearly. Follow. Then another. Stars. Then a full sentence. She followed the stars. I smiled. I understood that line. It felt like a gift. I repeated the line in my head. Slowly. She followed the stars. I imagined her walking. I imagined the sky. The words were now pictures in my mind. I didn't care if I didn't understand everything. I just listened. I didn't need to write anything. I didn't need to look up new words. I was not thinking about grammar. I was just feeling the story. The way a child feels a lullaby. Soft. Simple. Safe. My body felt lighter. My breathing slowed down. My heart felt warm. And without even knowing, I fell asleep. The next morning, I remembered something. A line from the story. She followed the stars. The words stayed with me. They felt like magic. And for the first time, I thought, maybe I can learn English like this. Maybe it doesn't have to be fast, hard, or painful. Maybe English can be slow, and soft, and beautiful. That one night changed something inside me. It was small, but powerful. I began to search for more stories like that. Slow, simple, sleep-friendly. I found many. I listened to them every night. Some were about brave boys. Some were about lost animals. Some were about dreams. But all of them were slow. And all of them helped me feel closer to English. And you know what? After 1 week of bedtime stories, I noticed something. English didn't sound so strange anymore. My ears were opening. My heart was opening. I began to understand more. Not by force. Not by fear. But by peace. By listening. Slowly. Gently. Every night. That's how it started for me. Not in a classroom. Not with a textbook. But in a quiet room. On a tired night. with one soft story, and one kind voice. That voice didn't just speak English. It made me feel safe. And from that safety, I began to learn. Maybe tonight, your story can begin too. Chapter 2. English that doesn't hurt your brain. When I first tried to listen to English, my brain felt tired. Every word felt like a wave. Too fast. Too strong. I wanted to learn, but the speed scared me. People spoke quickly. They used big words. I couldn't follow. I paused the video again and again. I tried to repeat the sentences, but it didn't work. My head started to hurt. My heart felt small. I thought, maybe I'm not smart enough. But I wasn't the problem. The speed was. The way I was learning was. English was not made for me. It was made for native speakers. For fast listeners. For people who already knew all the words. But what about me? What about you? We need something different. Something kind. Something soft. We need English that doesn't hurt. That's when I changed my way. I stopped watching fast videos. I stopped chasing hard grammar. I started searching for slow English. Simple English. Bedtime English. I wanted to hear English like I heard my mother's voice when I was small. Gentle. Calm. Loving. I found stories with slow speech. Long pauses. Short lines. I played one story. And I did not pause it. I just listened. And it felt good. It was strange at first. My brain was waiting to feel tired. But this time, it didn't. This time, the words came like drops of rain. Small. Soft. Clear. I understood more. Not because I tried harder, but because I didn't try too hard. I let go. I just listened. Slowly. Without fear. Without pressure. And that made all the difference. I realized something important. You do not learn English by pushing. You learn by feeling. You don't need to catch every word. Just catch one. Then two. Then three. Slowly, your brain will begin to connect the sounds. It will relax. And when your brain feels safe, it learns faster. That's how humans learn. Not in stress, but in peace. So now, I had a new rule. If it hurts my brain, I stop. I don't force myself anymore. I don't watch videos that make me feel confused. I only listen to what feels kind. I repeat stories that feel good. I follow the voice that speaks slowly. I listen at night, when I'm tired. I don't take notes. I don't worry about meaning. I just let the English enter my ears and rest in my heart. And guess what? After 1 week of slow listening, something changed. I could hear words I didn't notice before. I didn't translate in my head. I just knew. The sentence made sense. It was not magic. It was peace. My brain was learning, without pain. So if your brain feels tired when you listen to English, don't worry. You're not weak. You're not bad at learning. You just need a softer voice. A slower story. A safer space. That's how children learn. That's how you can learn too. Let English be a song. Let it be a bedtime story. Not a test. Not a punishment. Not a fear. Just listen. Softly. Quietly. Gently. One word at a time. And you'll feel it. English will become a friend. Your journey doesn't have to hurt. It can begin with rest. With peace. With a calm voice at night. Just like mine did. Chapter 3. The magic of repeating stories. There was a time when I thought I needed more. More videos. More words. More lessons. I thought if I just watched more English content, I would improve faster. So I jumped from one video to another. From one voice to the next. I kept searching for the perfect video. But nothing stayed in my head. I forgot what I heard. The words were new. The topics were new. Every video felt like starting over. One day, I stopped. I chose one story. Just one. It was a bedtime story. Very simple. Very slow. The first time I listened, I understood a few words. Not much. But the story felt peaceful. I liked the voice. So I played it again. The second time, I heard a new word. Forest. I smiled. I didn't hear that before. I imagined the trees. I saw the path. And I understood a little more. The third time, I started to remember sentences. She walked through the forest. It was clear now. My brain was waking up. But not from stress, from peace. From soft focus. From stillness. I didn't write anything down. I didn't use a dictionary. I just listened. Over and over. Slowly. Quietly. Gently. By the fifth time, the story was not just sounds. It was pictures. Emotions. Meaning. The girl in the story wasn't a stranger. She felt like someone I knew. I could feel her fear. I could feel her courage. And I could understand her journey, in English. That's when I learned the truth. Repetition is magic. It is not boring. It is not lazy. It is smart. It is peaceful. When you listen again and again, the words become yours. They become part of your heart. Part of your voice. You don't need 100 stories. You need one, repeated many times. Your brain loves repetition. Your ears love hearing the same words again. That is how babies learn. They hear the same song, the same lullaby, the same voice, and slowly, they understand. Then they speak. You can do the same, even as an adult. Even if you think it's too late. It's not too late. You are not too slow. You are learning in the best way. I started listening to the same story every night. At first, I got bored. But then something strange happened. The story became a part of me. I could say the lines in my head before the voice said them. I knew the rhythm. I knew the pauses. I didn't just understand the story. I felt it. And when I listened to a new story later, something was easier. My brain was stronger. My ears were ready. I could understand more, because I had trained with one story. Like lifting the same small weight again and again, until one day, you can lift something heavier. So don't feel bad if you repeat one story 10 times. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. You're building fluency. You're teaching your brain to feel the language. Slowly, deeply, gently. And that's how real English grows, not with speed, but with stillness. Let one story guide you. Let one voice teach you. Listen again and again. Close your eyes. Let it enter your dreams. And one day, when you speak, those same words will come out, like music from your soul. That is the power of repeating stories. And it all begins with one choice. One story. One soft night. One quiet listener. Maybe that listener is you. Chapter 4. The sleepy brain learns differently. At night, something changes. The world becomes quiet. The lights go off. Your eyes feel heavy. Your body is tired. But your brain is still open. It is listening. It is feeling. It is remembering. That is the perfect time to learn. But not with pressure. Not with fast videos or long grammar rules. At night, the brain learns best when the words are soft. When the rhythm is slow. When the message feels like a story, not a test. I didn't know this at first. I used to study during the day. I tried to force English into my head. I read books with hard words. I watched videos with fast talking. And I got tired. My brain was full. My heart was empty. I thought maybe English was not for me. But then something changed. One night, I was lying in bed. I didn't want to study. I just wanted to rest. So I played a slow English story. I didn't expect to learn. I just wanted to listen. The voice was soft. The words were simple. I didn't try to understand everything. I just closed my eyes and listened. And something strange happened. The next morning, I remembered a sentence. I didn't write it down. I didn't repeat it 10 times. But it was there. In my head. Clear. I said it out loud. He walked along the river. That was the sentence. I remembered the voice. I remembered the feeling. It stayed in my brain all night. That was the moment I learned something powerful. The sleepy brain learns differently. It doesn't need to work hard. It just needs to feel safe. And calm. And soft. When you are sleepy, your mind becomes quiet. The fear is less. The noise is gone. You are open. You are listening with your heart. So I made a plan. Every night, before sleep, I would listen to one slow story. I didn't pause. I didn't look at subtitles. I didn't use a notebook. I just lay down. I closed my eyes. And I let the English speak to me. It became a bedtime habit. A peaceful moment. A slow journey. After 1 week, I could repeat whole lines. After 2 weeks, I started dreaming in English. Not full conversations. Just small words. Small sentences. But it felt real. It felt beautiful. It felt like English was now a part of me. Not just a school subject. You don't need a perfect memory. You don't need long hours. You just need a quiet space. A gentle story. And a sleepy heart. Let the story enter your ears. Let it rest inside you. Even if you fall asleep, your brain still listens. Even if you miss some words, your brain still learns. The sleepy brain is not lazy. It is smart. It is soft. It is honest. It does not want stress. It wants peace. And when you give it that peace, it will give you fluency. Slowly. Naturally. Gently. So tonight, don't worry about studying hard. Don't worry about remembering everything. Just listen to one slow story. Let it speak to your heart. Let it sing you to sleep. That is learning too. That is how your English grows, while you rest. Chapter 5. How I made English my night habit. After I felt the power of bedtime listening, I wanted to do it every night. Not just once. Not just when I felt bored. I wanted to make it a habit. A small thing. A soft thing. But something I did every night. Like brushing my teeth or drinking water. I didn't want it to feel like homework. I wanted it to feel like comfort. Like rest. Like something kind I gave to myself after a long day. So I made a simple rule. One story. One time. Every night. That was all. Not 2. Not 10. Just one. A short story. A soft voice. A gentle moment. I didn't care if I understood everything. I didn't care if I forgot words. I just wanted to feel the rhythm. The silence between the sentences. The calm in the voice. I chose a story that I loved. Not because it was famous. Not because it had new words. But because it made me feel safe. That story became my English friend. It welcomed me each night. It said, "You are doing fine. Just listen." And I did. I listened again and again. I began to know the first line by heart. Then the second. Then the third. Not because I forced myself, but because my brain was resting. My heart was open. I listened in bed. No notebook. No dictionary. No goal. Just me and the story. Sometimes I listened with my eyes closed. Sometimes I left the audio playing softly while I fell asleep. I didn't feel guilty for not understanding every word. I knew now, the brain doesn't need pressure to learn. It needs peace. Over time, This simple habit changed my whole way of learning. I stopped chasing new things. I stopped jumping from video to video. I stopped feeling lost. One story, one voice, one night at a time. And something deep started to grow. I noticed my fear was smaller. I wasn't scared of English anymore. The sound of it made me feel calm. The rhythm felt like music. And slowly, without stress, I started speaking more. I started thinking in English. First just small words. Then small sentences. And then full ideas. All of this began from one small habit. Nighttime listening. Making English a night habit helped me sleep better too. My mind felt clear. My heart felt soft. There was no pressure. Only rhythm. Only sound. Only rest. I gave myself a gift every night. Not a big gift. Just 10 minutes. 15 minutes. But those minutes made a difference. And even now, after many months, I still keep this habit. I don't miss a night. It is part of my life now. Like breathing. Like dreaming. It is my way to feel close to English and close to myself. If you want to speak better, understand more, and feel peaceful with English, start here. Start at night. Start with a soft story. No pressure. No speed. Just one voice. Just one moment. Every night. Your English doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be loved. It needs to feel safe in your ears. And if you give it that, every night, your words will grow like flowers. Quiet. Natural. Strong. This is how I made English my night habit. And you can too. Chapter 6. The Bedtime English Story I Never Forgot. There is one story I will never forget. I listened to it many times. Not because someone told me to. Not because it was part of a course. But because it touched my heart. It was simple. Slow. Soft. But inside those easy words was something powerful. That story stayed with me like a friend. It followed me in my thoughts. It whispered to me in quiet moments. It became a part of my English journey. The story was about a boy who lived alone in a small house near a lake. He didn't speak much. He was shy. He was quiet. But every day, he walked to the lake and talked to the sky. He shared his dreams, his fears, his wishes. The lake didn't answer, but it listened. And the boy felt understood. The first time I listened, I didn't understand everything. But the voice was so calm. The story was slow. The sentences were clear. I closed my eyes and listened. I could hear the wind in the story. I could feel the cold air by the lake. I could see the boy sitting by the water, speaking in a soft voice. I listened again the next night. And the next. And the next. I started to remember his words. One day, I will be brave. That was my favorite line. So simple. So short. But it felt like he was speaking for me. I repeated that sentence to myself. One day, I will be brave. It became my sentence. It became my strength. That story didn't just teach me English. It gave me hope. It made me believe I could grow. I could change. I could speak one day, like the boy. It didn't matter if I was slow. It didn't matter if I made mistakes. What mattered was my heart. My voice. My wish to become more. Every time I listened to that story, I felt safe. I didn't feel like a student. I didn't feel like I was learning. I felt like I was listening to a lullaby. A quiet truth. A secret just for me. And the more I listened, the more I understood. Not just the words, but the feelings behind them. The voice in the story became familiar. The rhythm stayed in my memory. And months later, even when I wasn't listening anymore, I could still hear it. I could still say the lines in my head. Slowly, clearly, with feeling. That story became my anchor. my soft place, my English home. And even now, when I feel tired, or when I feel like giving up, I return to it. I play it one more time, and I remember who I was when I first listened. Scared, small, silent, but ready. We all need a story like that. Not just to practice English, but to feel something, to grow, to believe. Your story might be different. It might be about a girl who travels the world, or a man who finds a lost dog, or a child who builds a kite. It doesn't matter. What matters is this: you listen to it. You feel it. You let it live inside you. Because that one story can change your whole journey. Like it did for me. Chapter 7. Tonight, start your listening journey. Now you know my story. You've walked with me through the quiet nights. You've listened to how I found my way. Not through loud lessons, not through hard grammar books, but through soft stories. Through slow English. Through peace. And now, I want to tell you something simple. Something honest. Something I wish someone had told me long ago. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to understand every word. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Slowly. Gently. Like the first step of a walk. Like the first breath before sleep. Let English enter your life like a whisper, not like a storm. Tonight is the night. Tonight is your chance. Find one story. One slow English audio. One voice that feels safe. Don't study it. Don't worry. Just listen. Close your eyes. Let the story speak. Let the words pass through you like wind. You don't have to catch everything. You don't have to remember it all. Just let the story become your friend. Maybe you'll hear one new word. Maybe you'll feel something inside you shift. Maybe your body will relax. Maybe you'll fall asleep. That's okay. That's perfect. Because learning is not about pressure. It's about presence. It's about being here. Quiet. Calm. Ready. Make this your new habit. Not because someone told you to, but because your heart needs it. Because your mind is tired of stress. Because deep down, you know, slow English is strong English. Gentle learning is real learning. Repeat the same story tomorrow. And the day after. Let it become your song. Let it live inside your dreams. Trust the process. Trust the silence. Trust your ears. And trust yourself. This is not just about English. This is about healing. This is about becoming brave again. This is about learning to listen, not only to language, but to your own soul. The voice that says, you can do it. The voice that says, you are enough. The voice that says, keep going. So tonight, before you sleep, play that story. Don't wait. Don't scroll. Don't search for more. Just begin. With one soft voice. One calm rhythm. One quiet night. That's how your journey begins. That's how fluency grows. That's how you learn English, the peaceful way. Speech balloon if this video helped you feel calm and strong again. Like it now. Comment below. What story will you listen to tonight? And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Because here, we learn English the kind way. The slow way. The human way. Let's grow, one bedtime story at a time.